Hi everybody, Raging back with another Mechabellum video. In today's video, we're going to be messing around with some Elite Specialist, which is my least played specialist since I find it to be pretty difficult in high MMR to play, since you have to be a lot more precise with where you deploy your units, because you don't get to deploy as many of them since they're more expensive. So this game is me practicing the specialist. And also, I really like the starting pack, the steel balls and the crawlers. It's like my favorite opening. My opponent here is a giant specialist, starts with sledgehammers, arc lights, has picked up a couple packs of fangs. I think that's a good play. It's good against the steel ball pushes. Very solid center board he has here. I do like the vertical sledgehammers against the steel balls, but he has opted to go horizontal. And so I'm sort of just deciding which unit I'm going to get, but yeah, as the Elite Specialist, I think that the strongest unit to grab on round 1 is the Crawler, since, especially into Arclight, since the Arclight takes 2 shots against level 2 Crawler, and I've positioned them behind the steel balls to tank for the Crawlers. Let's see how round 1 goes here. So the level 1 crawlers that I had in the front have all been taken out a little faster than I prefer, but you can see that the level 2 crawlers are able to get in here and buy time for the steel balls on the right to take the tower, which in turn will buy time for the steel balls on the left to take this tower, and we should be able to take the round off that. And also, our steel balls here on the left were able to level. Ones on the right almost level, but not quite. Being Elite Specialist, it's too expensive for me to upgrade this steel ball since I'll miss a deployment after the reinforcement round. And the ones that stick out to me here are the Mustang and the Sabertooth. Sabertooth because I suspect he'll take Scorpion, and Sabertooth is pretty good at killing Scorpion. Mustang because they pair very well with the steel balls. You can put them behind the steel balls. They move at the same rate forward. But I do end up going with the Sabertooth. And in an aggro position, the Sabertooth also does like a little better than in the standard position, since it has sort of a low range. And it's a good unit to just, when it moves forward, it just will sort of sit here for a while and tank a lot of shots from these dudes. And if it can tank long enough to take shots from these dudes, it will eventually take the tower as well. So if I took the level on the steel ball, I would miss a deployment. So I can't take the level. My opponent over here is deciding to missile out my steel balls, which almost leveled last time. And in turn will also kill the level 2 crawlers behind. So it's a good missile. Ravella has added 2 packs of crawlers on the sides. A little far forward in my opinion, since I actually do flank. You'll see that this flank, since these guys have to now move backwards, it will buy time for them to spawn in and kill the crawlers. So let's see how well we do against the Scorpion. We're able to take out that arc light there immediately. And the crawlers are buying time for the steel balls to get close to the Scorpion, and they'll actually be able to take out the Scorpion as well. You can see that these crawlers have almost taken out a full pack of fangs and a crawler. We do get the tower, and this guy's been taking shots forever. We get a very favorable turn here as well, away from the tower. And so we'll be able to win this exchange now because of that. Fang actually gets the tower at the end, which probably levels him. Yep. Assault Scorpion, kind of an idea for my opponent here, since he already has the Scorpion. It just makes Scorpion shoot faster, and he skips, but since I'm pushing into him, a Scorpion that's shooting faster is probably better. I think that would have been a good idea for him. So now we have 650 supply we can work with here on round 3. Opponent has picked up 2 more packs of Sledgehammers, trying to protect his Scorpion a little more and take out the level 2 crawlers. I do go with the photon coating. The reason for that is the steel balls have 9142 health. The Scorpion does 10,000 per shot, right? So that's 1 shot on the steel balls. But with photon coating, it'll take 30% less damage, so it will actually take 2 shots to kill the steel ball. Opponent has also grabbed arc lights to deal with the flank here. So those are his 3 deployments. And again, I need to really be precise with my unit placements. So I'm really thinking about what I want to do here. I go with the field recovery. I sell the steel balls, which I suspect might get missiled out. He's not actually doing that, though. I go into the air with level 2 Phoenix. And I grab another pack of crawlers. And I level the tower, since I just removed my main unit from over here. I suspect this side will fall. And so I want this to tank a little longer for this side. So let's see how we do here. You can see that the steel balls are not 1 shot, taking multiple shots. But with the added sledgehammers, it is a lot of new bodies for me to be able to go through. Especially since all I really got was a Phoenix, which is not super efficient at clearing sledgehammers. The Phoenix idea is rooted in me just kind of trying to win the round, since he doesn't have much anti-air, but he does have the fangs, which in this instance will be enough anti-air to actually take out the Phoenixes. So a little rough, but it's not too much damage. And also, as the elite specialist, you do have a really healthy HP pool. And the Phoenixes do level, which is pretty good. Lots of good choices here. The portable shield is really nice on like a really tanky unit, but additional deployment is kind of hard to skip. There's also a wasp swarm, which I have to consider. Being aggro, I don't have a lot of defense back here. So we'll have to play around that a little bit. Even though he took additional deployment, there's always the chance that he could take that spell. I'm still deciding. Opponent has picked up 2 marksmen to deal with my Phoenix. Suspects I may also get Phoenix over here. So deploys on both sides. Also picks up late fangs as well. So there's just 3 deployments. Still deciding what I want to get. Do go with the additional deployment in the end. Level the Phoenixes to level 3. I grab level 2 fangs in the off chance he wasp swarms here. So that's my defense. That's what I'm going with. I have sold the Sabertooth now so that I could get a little extra money. And now I go into arc lights. A couple level 2 arc lights with range should help me clear some chaff. Maybe kill some tanks. Not exactly a round where I should suspect to win, but more of a board developing round, I'd say. I want to be making sure that these arc lights are getting good purchase. So they're able to clear these level 1 sledgehammers, so that's not too bad. And over here, they're clearing fangs and crawlers, so not too bad. Kind of a solid pickup. But with the addition of the marksmen, these Phoenixes now will definitely be killed. So this is sort of a larger win for my opponent than last round. So I really need to be thinking about how I'm going to get through these tanks. The tanks are really the problem. He has lots of them now. And they also have mech rage. So my eye goes to the improved firepower control system. My opponent goes with the super supply. Being elite specialist, though, I really need the supply right now. Not in the future, but right now. So I go with the improved firepower control system. And it's on this round where my board really begins to take shape into what it will ultimately become. I see that I really need a way to counter these sledgehammers, and so my plan is hackers. I almost never play hackers, and I almost never play elite specialists, so this is very experimental for me here. I do know that when your opponent overcommits to tanks or fire badgers or something like that, hackers are pretty good. So I do go with the hackers. I do get range on the hackers. They're level 2. One has the improved firepower. I've sold the steel balls and put the photon coating on another. So this is my idea. This is my big plan. And them being level 2, we are able to take these a lot quicker, especially the one with the improved firepower. So we're stealing the middle units really, really quickly here. And actually the Phoenixes are doing really well now. Every time we take a Fang, these guys get distracted. This is going much better. So the hackers were a good pickup. And it will actually be enough to win the round. Pretty good choices. The efficient light manufacturing, but also the enhancement module. Since I did get levels on a lot of my units, I decided to put it on the Phoenix, level the Phoenix, and then sell the Phoenix. And then I transition the enhancement module to the Arclight. So a couple free levels. We're stonking. I also get barrier on the hacker, and I get 2 more. So now we're lacking anti-air, which we had before, because I sold the Phoenix. Because I wanted to fund the hacker play. My opponent here has gone with loose crawlers, which is good against Arclights and honestly the rest of my board. My crawlers will actually do a lot better at killing his crawlers now, though. Opponent also goes into range on the sledgehammer. He has quite a few marksmen now. I decide to get some more fangs and just sort of put them back here as late chaff. And that will do the round. So let's see how 4 hackers do now against loose crawlers. The moment that I saw loose crawlers, I knew that I needed Mustangs. So the Arclights are not as good at killing the loose crawlers. What you really need against loose crawlers is either Fangs or Mustangs. But the barrier, actually, on the hacker, each one being 20,000 health, it does take those sledgehammers quite a while to get through. And we were able to clear the chaff and then get on to his main units here. So now with 4 hackers, we're stealing his entire board. And his own tanks are shooting his tower. So it's starting to fall apart for him. So some scary choices, actually. The Wraith for my opponent here is really good. These are my only anti-air units, these 2 packs of Fangs. So seeing the Wraith, he actually does go with Wraith. I knew that he did. I need to decide how I'm clearing crawlers and dealing with Wraiths, because I know he's taking the Wraith. The Fire Badgers are sticking out to me, since they would be able to kill the crawlers pretty quick. The crawlers have less health when they're loose. So I do go with the Fire Badgers. My opponent also not only got Wraith, but also doubled down and went more into the air with Overlords. Which would be quite a bit of damage if I don't answer that. So I still need anti-air units. I'm aware that I need anti-air units. Just deciding where to put the Fire Badgers. I sell the Arclight since it's not able to clear the crawlers as efficiently as it did, and transfer the enhancement module to the Hacker, which got a level. So continuing to stonk here. Also take the level 3 Hacker on this side. I do pick up another pack of Fire Badgers. I get 2 packs of Mustangs with range. So now we have Chaff Clear with the Fire Badgers and anti-air with the Mustangs. And the Mustangs have range, which will keep them back. I really needed to do that, obviously, because look at all these air units. My opponent, though, does not run armor on Wraith. If he did, I would be kind of screwed in this position, so that's why you run armor on the Wraith. Me seeing that he doesn't run armor, I know I can keep going into more Mustangs. Also doesn't run armor on Sledgehammers. And this is a lot closer. Since I don't have Mustangs in the center to take out these flying units, they were to take out my Hackers. But now we are closing in from the sides. And we have just enough to take round 7. So pairing the Mustangs with the Hackers is really good. It's kind of like pairing Mustangs with Fortresses. It is actually, it's very similar. Since there's the barrier unit in front of them. Ion Blast was offered. We both take Ion Blast. He goes into range on the Overlords. And has actually got more Overlords now. I'd say that's a bit of a questionable play, since he does see that I have Mustangs, and he's lacking armor on the Wraith. So I think he just wants to overwhelm me. Like, it almost worked last round, right? So he's like, maybe it'll clear a lot faster this time, and maybe I don't get more Mustangs. I take the levels on the Hacker, take the levels on the Mustang. But unfortunately for my opponent, I am able to read something like this. Just deciding where to put the Ion Blast mostly. Now that the Overlords have range, they should stay put here. So I do go with some center Mustangs as well. Just get 3 more packs. So now this will be a lot easier to clear. So doubling down on the Overlord with range is obviously a mistake here for my opponent, since now I have adequate, very adequate anti-air. Even with the Ion Blast. See how fast these dudes are falling. And we're really getting in there now. These Mustangs are doing God's work. Taking down towers. Still hacking. Hackers on the outside still alive. So this will be our round as well. And you can see that the Mustangs really now have come online as well, becoming my carry unit at this point. I think that Mustangs are incredibly strong right now, like maybe the strongest unit. If you compare it with high-level hackers, or just even some fortresses, it feels like if you do that every game, you're in a great spot every time. So having all of the Mustangs here allows me to grab the Wasps, and I just sort of put them back here as late arrivers. That's all they're going to do. They're just going to arrive late into the party, and I've taken anti-air on the Mustang, so now all of these units are totally dead. He actually even takes launcher overload. He's just panicking, right? Like he's not sure what to do at this point. Takes the sandworm with strike. I guess the idea is that it eventually should be able to get close enough to the hacker to be able to pop up and just like annihilate it immediately. But now that these Mustangs have anti-air and like this is really, he's committed really heavily into this front line of air units. Like this is just going to melt now. And my big final push play idea is loose formation. So he has loose formation against me, but with the Mustangs, I actually have an adequate answer to his loose crawlers. But looking at his board, he does not have an adequate answer to loose crawlers. So I just kind of jab back. I'm like, all right, you want to play loose crawlers against me? Let's see how well you do against some loose crawlers, which are all level 2, by the way. And these Mustangs will just annihilate this front row. Watch. It's like paper. Just like, yeah, like literal tissue paper just falling in the sky there. This last round is kind of a slaughter. My board has completely come online here. So the elite specialist with hacker and Mustang is great. I've been practicing the elite specialist a lot more, and this game in particular was a pretty good one. The Mustangs were amazing in this game. This Mustang here on the right, actually getting the most damage in the game. I find that hackers have been a pretty good answer to the sledgehammer pushes, which has become a little more popular lately. So whenever I see that start to happen, I have been just going for the hacker. It's pretty good. And then you throw Mustangs behind it, and it's sort of like a Fortress Mustang game, except it's hacker Mustang. The hacker serves the same purpose. It's a big, tanky, shielded body in the front to protect for the Mustangs. And I think my opponent in this game really goofed up. So he doesn't run armor on Wraith. I think you really need armor on Wraith, specifically against Mustangs. And doubling down on the Overlords and also double teching the Overlords was a total throw. Like, if you see that many Mustangs and you don't really have a good armor option, you should not be taking more of these units. He also doesn't run armor on Sandworm, doesn't run armor on Sledgehammer, so this game sort of highlights the importance of having armor on your units. Also doesn't have armor on Arclights. So just a very solid elite specialist game. It is like my least played specialist, so I have been practicing it a lot. That's what this game was, and this one just went really well. And it also gives me an opportunity to show off the power of the Mustangs once again. That's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.